Here we go, episode 79 of the Hardline Sports Talk, a Week 10 NFL preview. I'm Michael Merlo. I'm with John Michael Mauceri. JM, how are you on this fine Sunday morning?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Hey, I haven't talked to you about the weather. I know you're a big cold weather guy. It's this
Yeah,
global warming stuff. I really like it, man. 70 degrees in November. I'm walking
yeah,
around in
it
shorts.
it was disgusting. The fact that
No,
I was in
no.
a t-shirt and shorts yesterday in the middle of November, and now I think it's freezing outside right now and it's rainy. If I
Yeah.
walked outside, freeze my ass off right now. So this is the weather we need, especially it's football weather. So
As long
Giant Giants
But
before.
Thanksgiving, which by the way, couldn't be more excited for Thanksgiving. Favorite holiday. Pretty sure I've mentioned that a couple times on this show.
That's an L take.
Fantastic holiday.
It's an
Food,
L take.
food, football, family. What else you
Yeah,
need, man?
I'm not a big fan of the food on Thanksgiving. I think we've talked about this though.
Yeah.
But yeah, the football is great. The Giants are playing on Thanksgiving this year. I'm very excited about that. And look at this. Tomorrow, JM, here in Massapequa, 49 degrees with a low of 33 and
That's
completely sunny. That's a great day.
that's gross.
So get ready for the cold because it's coming.
My dad actually is on a flight to Minnesota, I think basically right now. And he said it's going to be a high of 25 and a low of 13.
That sounds like perfect weather. Football weather.
Literally hard. Like I'd jump off a bridge. That's horrible.
That's football weather. But let's get to some football here as we got a bunch of games kicking off. We're going to talk about and preview a few of them. How many games are we doing? We're doing
We're doing 6 games.
we're doing 6 games, and we're going to do our star picks or 3-star, 2-star, and 1-star pick that we usually post on our social media. So let's start off with the first game that we're going to look at. We're looking at the Vikings at the Bills, a very interesting game.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen didn't think he was playing all week. Now he's playing. The Vikings are getting 7 points here. JM, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, see, this is an interesting game because I'm not crazy about the Vikings. Like you guys should go check it out. I'm pretty sure everybody did, but we just came out with our power rankings, and I had the Vikings in there obviously, but they were outside the top 5, even though they have like a top 3 record in the NFL. But I do think the Vikings are a good team. They're most likely going to win the North at this point. Um, but we know that in the past, Kirk Cousins and the rest of the team have a little tendency to be overrated. So normally I would go with the Bills here. However, I think the elephant in the room is Josh Allen's health, like you just talked about. So normally I would take the Bills, but seeing the way he played last week, plus the elbow injury, it's just too many points, man. I'm gonna take the Vikings +7.
Yeah, this is the weirdest game to me
Mm-hmm.
because you're right. I think the Vikings at this point are frauds. They haven't played many good teams. They haven't played that many good teams. They're playing backup quarterbacks a lot. Granted, last week they played, Tyler Heineke's the backup quarterback, but he's probably better than the starter. Either way, they're getting lucky here. They're winning close games, which is not easy to do in the NFL, but they're getting lucky. This is Kirk Cousins at 1 o'clock. Josh Allen's got a bad arm injury. He's gonna play. They don't have a running game outside of Josh Allen. So I'm gonna side with you here. I think the Bills will win this game either way, whether it's Keenum or
Yeah,
whether it's Allen. But I'm gonna take the Vikings getting a touchdown and an extra point. I'll go with the Vikings, but I'm not betting this game.
I might, if I am betting on this game, I'm gonna take the Vikings money line, even though I think the Bills are probably gonna win. But I'll take the money line just because the odds are so good. Like
Right.
I'll throw, a small amount on it, get a nice payback from that. But yeah, like you said, it's a very weird game.
I'm not touching this one. I'm not betting this game.
There, it amazes me the way the Bills just can't run the ball, and they were my Super Bowl pick. There are a lot of people Super Bowl picks. A lot of people think they're the best team in the league, but like when it comes down to them against the Chiefs, I know the Chiefs don't have the best running game either, but whether it's against the Chiefs or whoever, are they going to be able to make their way out of the AFC just airing it out all the time? I don't. If they get a challenge, their passing game isn't working, you have to be able to go to that running game, and I don't know if they have the ability to do that. But
I heard a stat a day or two ago. Josh Allen accounts for 81% of their offense.
that's crazy.
So yeah, they don't have much of a running game. They have to keep this guy healthy. I wouldn't play him. I wouldn't be playing him this week.
Yeah.
I know, the Vikings have a great record and they're considered one of the best teams in the league. You don't want to overlook any opponent. I don't care. I would not play Josh Allen this week.
Yeah.
And yeah, their running game is non-existent to the point where if this was Case Keenum, I would still be sketchy taking. I would still feel a little sketchy taking the Bills because they don't have much of a running game outside of Josh Allen.
Plus, do they even run this offense like normal? Like, are you really going to let Josh Allen drop back, run around, sit back there forever when you run the risk of him getting hit in that arm again?
No, he's going to go down. He's going to throw the ball away. It's going to be a very conservative game. I'm guessing it's a good point from Josh Allen.
Well, it might not be conservative from him, but it might be conservative from the coaches. I don't know if Josh Allen has the willpower in him to do that.
He's not going to be sliding down. He's going to be trying
Yeah, I
to
don't
run
know.
through people. So they're going to hope that he does that. Let's move on to the next game we got at 1:00. The Cleveland Browns are headed to Miami to face the Dolphins. The spread is 3.5. The Dolphins are 3.5 point favorites. I'll start this one because this is my favorite game of the week. I love the Cleveland Browns plus 3.5.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna say something that may stun you right now. I think the Dolphins can absolutely win the Super Bowl, or at least get to the Super Bowl. I think the Dolphins have a feel of the Chiefs the past few years, just because of the way on offense they could score in seconds. You don't know what they could get right down the field in 20 seconds, score a touchdown, get a field goal if they need it. They could score at will. And
Yeah.
their defense isn't there yet. The addition of Bradley Chubb is huge, but their defense is not there yet. And the Chiefs teams in the beginning of the run that they've started with Mahomes wasn't as great. You could score on them, do what you want.
Yeah.
This week, the Browns may run for 200 yards as a team.
Well, I know that me and you are different on our outlook of the Dolphins. I mean, you had them 5th in your power rankings, and I had them 10th. So that's a big difference. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think the Dolphins are very good. The reason why I didn't have them as high is because of what you just said. The defense isn't totally there yet. But in this game, I mean, I'm hoping for the rest of the show that we're not just agreeing on picks. But yeah, I do like the Browns. Looking at their schedule, the Browns, they've really played very close games against good teams. They lost 23-20 to the Ravens. They lost 30-28 to the Chargers. They should have won that game. They missed a field goal at the end. The only game I can really remember is they got killed by New England, but they just blew out the freaking the Bengals coming off their bye back
Stefan-
2 weeks ago on, what was that, Monday Night Football, right?
Yep. Stefanski, I think, is undefeated in his career against off the bye, excuse me. And, I would look at them on the money line because, again, I love the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to the playoffs, 100%. Could you see a regression here from the Dolphins? Is Tua going to go undefeated as a starter all season long? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Could I see this being a loss? Sure. But 3.5, I love the 3.5. I'm actually about to place it right now, 3.5.
Do you how many teams do you think are going to come out of the AFC East in the playoffs?
3.
Who's out?
New England.
You do think New England's going to miss?
Yeah.
I think there's a real shot that there's 4.
I gotta look at this. I'm gonna look at the standings right now. I want to see who's like, who's like the last team out.
The team that's gonna the people who are gonna make it difficult are the Bengals or the Ravens, one of those teams, and then the Chargers. But that's really it. I mean, Pittsburgh, no, Cleveland, no, none of those AFC South teams besides the Titans, the Colts, Jaguars, Texans, they're no shot, and then the Raiders and the Broncos, no way.
Right. If the Chargers and Bengals got hot, they could come in there and swoop the Jets or the Dolphins, whoever was the
right now,
center.
New England's out, but they're only like a game back. It's a very tight race in the AFC.
The Jets schedule is favorable the rest of the year. They go to New England next week after the bye. I like them in that game. Yeah, I think the Jets will get in. I think the Dolphins will get in. I think the Bills will obviously get in.
Take us to the next game, Mr. Merlo.
All right, let's head to Green Bay because this is a very interesting game. The Dallas Cowboys are in Green Bay. The Packers are 3.5 point underdogs. Dallas coming off the bye. Green Bay coming off a very embarrassing performance against the Detroit Lions in Detroit, where they scored 9 points. They didn't even get the double digits.
Yeah.
The Packers did against the worst defense in football. We'll start with you here. Who do you like in this one?
Well, I'll tell you something right now. Every time the Green Bay Packers appear on a sports book, I think like my eye starts twitching because I bet on them a couple times earlier in the year and they let me down and they just it's every week they just seem to be horrible. Um and I know the way trends go and the Packers got embarrassed last weekend, so they're going to have a bounce back week, but everybody's going to think they're going to be horrible again. The sports books want you to pick against the Packers. I don't care. I'm taking the Cowboys. I think the Packers suck. Like I really like their offense, they can't move the ball. They can't score. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is I love Aaron Rodgers. I think he's the greatest quarterback to ever throw a football. I don't know if he's still got it. I mean, I don't think he's terrible now, but he might have lost a step in terms of his just like his awareness and his reading defense. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. He's throwing the ball carelessly. He's forcing the ball everywhere. And this Dallas team is too good. I mean, in our power rankings, me and you both said this is the fourth best team in football. So I could see it being a close game and maybe Dallas, scores a touchdown at the end or something like that. But Dallas minus 3.5. I have to take that.
Yeah. Packers are gross. I mean, they're not a fun watch.
No.
They're very frustrating at times. The defense isn't as good as advertised coming into this year. And you said it. I really like Dallas this year. I think they're a legit Super Bowl contender. I think if they had Odell, it just adds to that, and I think they will. I think Dallas can win the Super Bowl, no doubt about it. But I like the Packers here. I think getting 3.5. This is a weird line. I am going to buy into the fact that we don't. Vegas is saying, please take the Cowboys. This line is moving down with the public still on Dallas. It's gone from 5.5 to 4.5. Now it's down to 3.5. It's weird. It doesn't make sense, and I absolutely hate it, but I'm taking Green Bay, and I like it. So let's go Green Bay plus a 3.5. Let's see if they can run the ball. Let's see if they can get something going. I don't even want to watch it. Like this is one of those games where I'm going to bet it. I'm going to take the 3.5, and I'm not going to want to watch a second of it.
What else are you going to watch at 4:00?
I know.
You should have shut the TV off. I'm not watching Colts Raiders, and I'm not watching the battle of the backups.
I'm watching Colts Raiders. I have to see what happens. I have to see what happens with Jeff Saturday. I mean, come on. How are you not tuning into that?
I mean, he's lucky he's playing the Raiders, though. Imagine if he was, first week he's playing the Chiefs.
Oh God, yeah, you're right. That's interesting. That's a tough game too. That's a game that we're not picking that game. Just completely stay away from it. Just don't even touch it. All right, let's move on to the last game in the 4:00 window. We've got the Cardinals and the Rams. The Rams at home. They're 3-point favorites. You want to start this one? Because I don't.
Yeah. First of all, if you take a look at the Arizona Cardinals injury report, it's a sight to see. I mean, basically half of the 53-man roster is on the injury report, including Kyler Murray, who I think is supposed to be a game time decision, but it's not really looking good. And then on the other side, Matt Stafford, he's got a concussion. I don't think he's gonna play. So this might be who is it? It's John Wolford and
Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy.
Yeah,
so I'm not gonna sit here. I don't care. I'll put my pride aside. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know anything about John Wolford and Colt McCoy, and I could tell you how this game's gonna go. One thing I can do is look at the Rams are at home. The Cardinals are, I don't know if you're seeing all these Hard Knocks clips and everything like this. I'm sure it's just getting, scrutinized because they're the ones who are getting it shown on camera, not the other 31 NFL teams. But like Cliff Kingsbury is like a joke. I mean, the guy, he's just, he might be a smart football mind, but it really seems like his players like don't give a crap about him. I'm going to take the Rams -3. I think they have a better team. Home field advantage, who cares? I mean, I'm sure it'll be half Cardinals fans anyways. But just from looking at it from a roster standpoint, I think the Rams are going to finish higher in this division than the Cardinals. So I think things will kind of fall into place there. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, as we get interrupted by my dog here.
Mm.
This is a disgusting game, like you said. I read this tweet from Adam Schefter at 6:30 in the morning. Well, it was posted at 6:30 in the morning. I didn't
Right.
read it at 6:30 in the
Right.
morning. Friends of Colt McCoy's called the Rams on Saturday night to purchase a bunch of tickets to today's game in Los Angeles, per a source. So it looks like Colt McCoy is going to go. I'm guessing Stafford's out too. I tend to agree with you. Let's take the better defense. Let's take the better coach. Let's take the more talented roster, and let's take the home team.
Yeah.
In this game. I'll take the Rams. This is a stay away.
I think that Matt Stafford's absence in the Rams offense is going to be less impactful than Kyler Murray's absence in the Cardinals offense.
Well, considering the way Stafford has played this year, 100%.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that.
Like, is it really going to be that much of a step? Really, the way he's played, exactly. Is it going to be that much of a step down to John Wolford?
And Kyler's not having this great season, but Kyler does a lot for that offense.
Yeah.
He adds a ton to that offense. So, yeah, I agree. I concur. Let's go Rams -3. This game, I have a feeling we're going to disagree with. This is the Sunday Night Football. Chargers at 49ers. The 49ers are 7.5-point favorites at home. I'll start here. Weird game. I'm not even 100% sure if this is my pick. I shouldn't say weird game. It's a good game. Weird line. I'm going to take the 49ers. I'm going to take a -7.5. I don't like this, but there is no reason why, given all of the injuries that the Chargers have been dealing with, so are the 49ers. The 49ers have dealt with a ton of injuries this season. And they're off the bye, and they're probably getting a bunch of guys back. But I just think that this is more of like a 4.5, 5-point spread, even in San Francisco. Give me the 49ers because I think they're begging you to take the charge, and they're moving this up. I mean, this was 6.5, 7. Now it's 7.5 on some books. I'm going to take the 49ers. This could be a blowout. They're going to control the clock. They're going to run the ball. They're going to do whatever they want on this defense. They're going to put up a lot of points. I'd also sprinkle in an over possibly because I think the 49ers are going to score in a big way this weekend, tonight, excuse me.
I'm shaking my head because we still have not disagreed on a game.
No, we disagreed on the Packers.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. So that's fine. Yeah, I like the Niners. I knew you were going to be a little surprised by that, but
I'm very surprised by that.
The Chargers, I mean, I think the Chargers have a little hint of fraud in them. I know they're very banged up, but so are a lot of teams, you know. No Keenan Allen, no Mike Williams. This offense is pretty bad without them, honestly. When you watch them, obviously no Rashawn Slater, he's out for the year. He's been out for a while. But Austin Eckler is really that entire offense, and he's producing fantasy football wise, and he gets in the end zone, but guy's catching like 8 passes for 30 yards every game. You know, he's not going anywhere when he's catching his passes. So I think this Niners team is very good. I think they're going to start getting in a groove here. I could see them ripping off a couple, 4 or 5 games in a row. I don't know what their schedule looks like, but they're 500 right now. I think they're still going to win this division. And McCaffrey in that offense we saw a glimpse of it in his first full game with them, on a full workload. He scored 3 touchdowns in 3 different ways, which is crazy. I really like the Niners, and I know it's a primetime game and it's a very big line, and I'm usually not the guy to take big lines, but I think they're going to kill him, honestly. I think I could see this easily being like a 34-20 Niners win. I really don't think the Chargers have a chance in this.
Yeah. The coach is not helping the quarterback in this situation.
Yeah, that's another great point.
I was a fan of Staley. I'm completely out on him.
Yeah.
Somehow Justin Herbert, and again, he lost his left tackle. He's lost his 2 best receivers. The offense is clearly not the right situation for him. He somehow regressed this season, and I don't think that's on him. Like, you could still watch him and say, wow, that guy has a ton of talent. but for
Right.
whatever reason, you're just not seeing it you're not seeing it on the stats, and you're not seeing it on the paper. You're not seeing it on paper, and they're just not effective. They're
Right.
not good enough on offense. And I don't think it's his fault, but he's taking a step back.
Right.
I still love him. I still love him.
I think the Chargers, when I look at their record, they're 5-3, right? I'm surprised by that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like they haven't really played like a 5-3 team. So I think they kind of get a little karma this week, and they have a blowout on their hands. I would be, if you had told me out of any of these games this week, including the Monday night game, I mean, I think it's the second biggest line, but still, out of any of the games, if you told me, the Chargers won that game, I would be the most surprised by that.
Yeah.
Even over the Commanders and the Eagles game.
That's a divisional game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's move on to that game. The Eagles on Monday night, they are giving 10.5 points to the Washington Commanders at Lincoln Financial Field. The over-under, so I'm going to make a play here, is 43.5. I'll start.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
I like the under.
Yeah, I know you do.
I love the under.
Because it's a big line.
It's a big line. And I'll go against myself. I'm going to take the Commanders divisional game, big line, take the double-digit spread in a primetime game. I'm going to go with that.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Plus 10.5. But the public is on the Commanders. So I would usually take the Eagles here. But I'm not. I'm going to go the 10.5 points and the under 43.5. Listen, Eagles win this game, what? 27-17? Yeah. Does that work?
That's nice. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's just, I think the Eagles are one of the best teams. I think they're the best team in football. A lot of people are still not buying the Eagles just because they say they have a cushy schedule. But I agree. They haven't had the hardest schedule. But how can you look at that team and all the talent around and the way Jalen Hurts is playing and think, and Nick Sirianni is going to start making himself as one of the best coaches in the league.
Yeah.
How could you look at that team and say that they're not a great football team? I mean, come on. It's the NFL. I don't care who you're playing. You're 8-0 and you're moving the football through the air, on the ground. You're doing whatever you want.
And by the way, they're dominating teams.
Yeah.
They're beating teams up badly. Last week, Thursday night, short week on the road against the Texans, they struggled a little bit.
Right.
Who cares? And people overreacted about that for crying out loud.
Yeah.
This is the best team in football.
It's
the best team in football.
Yeah. I agree though. It's just too many points, divisional game, prime time. I'll just take plus 11.
All right.
At what point do you get to with games like I'm a believer that once you get past like 7 points, it's just like a crapshoot. Like how are you really supposed to tell?
Yeah.
Unless you know it's going to be like, all right, this is going to be a freaking blowout. Then sure, but 11 versus 13 versus 7, at that point,
you just take points. It's in division, prime time.
Yeah, it's just too many points.
Yeah, I definitely like the under. I don't know. I may be going back on the Commanders. No, I'll stick with it. Commanders and under. All right. Let's do our stars here. We're gonna pick 3-star, 2-star, and 1-star. You want to go with your 3-star?
Can we start with the 1-star because I'm starting to second guess my 3-star right now.
All right, we'll start at the 1-star. I'll start for you.
Okay.
My 1-star pick this week. Debate between two games. Let me look. You know what? This is going to be disgusting. I'm going to take the Broncos plus 2.5.
Wow. All right.
They're
coming out of the gates hot.
Yeah, it was between the Packers and that, and I feel better about the Broncos offense right now and having to watch that game. So let's take the Broncos plus the 2.5 on the road at Tennessee. Tennessee played a really impressive game at the Chiefs last week. I mean, defensively, that was incredibly impressive. They can't throw the ball to save their lives. Tannehill is back this week, I'm pretty sure. They think by all accounts he's playing. I think he's a game time decision, but he's going to play. They were discussing. They don't throw the ball to receivers. Treylon Burks is back, but they're missing guys on defense. I'm pretty sure Simmons is not playing this week. They're missing a ton of guys on defense. They're incredibly banged up. The Broncos coming off the bye. Nathaniel Hackett still is on the hot seat, still needs wins here. I think they win the game outright. Take them 2.5.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that game. I did not touch it.
It's a gross game. No, it's definitely a gross
I
game.
will say though, if I'm the Tennessee Titans, I'm going up to Mike Vrabel and with a check, I'm saying, here, write whatever, however many years and money
Yeah.
you want. Like, I think that guy is one of, if not the best coach in football. Like, he is the man.
He's incredibly underrated too
And
somehow.
the thing about that game on Sunday, the Chiefs came out of the gates like it looked like they could do whatever the hell they wanted. Like they were throwing to all their receivers. Everybody was getting a catch, and you knew they were going to score. And then all of a sudden, they just stopped scoring. All right, so my 1-star pick, I'm sure it's on your board a little higher, but I'm just going to keep it on a 1-star. Cleveland plus 3.5. We talked about it already. Like the Browns. Jacoby Brissett's done a pretty decent job for them, honestly. Yeah, we already talked about the game. I'm going to take them with plus 3.5.
Yeah, one of the better backups in the league for sure. You might flip me here. You might flip me here. No, I'll keep it. All right, my 2-star pick. I really like this. I was just debating: do I put this at 3-star because you went with my 3. You went with your 1-star as my 3-star. I'm just gonna keep.
You want to jump me on the board? Oh, by the way, all right, Ted, say your pick, but I gotta check the standings after last week.
Yeah. All right, this is back to 9.5. I love the Jaguars. I love the Jaguars this week. They're one of the more unlucky teams in football. Their record, they are better than their record says they are. They've been bad in the red zone. You know, I've been listening to a lot of people talk about the Jaguars this week. They went away from going to Christian Kirk for a little bit. When they were losing games, they weren't targeting Christian Kirk as much. But if you go back to early in the year when they were playing really well and were winning games, they were targeting him a bunch. Right. Now, last week, they go back to it. They played really well on offense. I think he had 10 targets, 9 catches. I think he's going to have a big game this week. I think they're going to keep this game close. I think it's going to be an easy cover. I think they're going to keep this game close and have a chance to win late. Travis Etienne has been amazing for this team. I think he gets the ball a lot today as well. I love the Jaguars plus 9.5. The Chiefs don't cover at home, and they don't cover big spreads at home.
Really, I respect that pick. So the standings, I think you had 2 stars last week because you hit the Bengals game. Yeah. So your 1-star was the Cardinals, which they didn't cover, and your 3-star was Commanders plus 3. That pushed.
Yeah, brutal.
I got 4 last week because my 3-star was the Patriots minus 5. Which, by the way, when I saw that line, I was like dumbfounded. And then I took a flip-flop. I took the Vikings minus 3. That pushed. And I took the Bengals. So now it's 27-24 me. My 2-star pick, I'm going to take the Saints minus 1 on the road against Pittsburgh. I mean, this is, to call this game a mid-off would be disrespectful to the word mid. Yeah, these teams are actually like terrible. But I think the Saints are slightly less terrible than the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll pick them on the road against a Kenny Pickett team with Najee Harris, who's terrible, and I don't even know if he's even gonna he's healthy, like right?
Yeah, he's fully healthy.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's like splitting carries this week. Yeah.
Who's the Steelers running back? Was it Warren?
Yeah, Jaylen Warren.
Yeah, I'm very indifferent on that game. I don't know. I might not make a pick on it at all. I might not play it at all because there's so many ways that game can go. Right. Just like I like the fact that you're taking a team that got embarrassed on prime time the week before, and they're on the road. I think they could definitely have a big game. I'm afraid to take it.
Right.
All right, my 3-star. I've circled this game for days now, and I still really like it. It makes a ton of sense. We talked about it. It's the Cleveland Browns plus 3.5. They're my 3-star pick. I like Nick Chubb today to score a touchdown, go for his yards. They're going to run the ball. Like you said, Brissett's been a really good backup quarterback. He's been playing like, a borderline starter at this point. And the defense is good. Myles Garrett is one of the better. He's solidified himself as still one of the best defensive players in the league. I think they get to Tua. I think they'll limit the scoring a bit. And I think they cover, and I think they'll have a chance to win late.
Yeah. All right. This is a pretty ballsy pick. I put it at my 3-star pick. And it's risky, but I have a very good feeling about the game. Why did my microphone just change? Hold on. One moment, please.
Technical difficulties. As
Come on,
as
why
he
is this thing?
as he fixes his microphone, the Bucks are currently up 14-0. And me, being the wuss that I am, love the Bucks all week and decided to back out late and did not take the -2.5 because I knew that was a trap and that was a rat line. And everybody was on the
All
Seahawks,
right,
and I did not take them.
I'm back. We're
Okay.
good. So yeah, like I said, this is a risky pick. It's a big line, but I have very strong feelings about it. I am going to take the San Francisco 49ers -7
Wow.
as my 3-star pick.
Wow. That's ballsy. I don't have the balls to do that.
I think they're going to kill them. And my microphone just connected. But yeah, I think they're going to kill them.
That's ballsy. I like it. I don't mind it. It's ballsy. There's a public play I really like. I usually don't do it. I would probably take the Bears. I'd take them on the money line because this could be a 3-point game. Jared Goff is terrible outdoors and on the road. It's a division game. The Giants, my Giants gear. You know what I was thinking about today? If the Giants win like the next 2 weeks, which are very reasonable, to play the Texans today and the Lions next week, like they're in the playoffs. Like they're going to solidify themselves in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think these games are massively important because if they don't win these next 2 games, then it's going to be a fight toward the end. So if they win these next 2 games, they can basically lock it up. I do like the Texans to cover today. I really do. I like the Texans to cover today.
So I've had this weird thing going on where I'm getting these like signs for bets. Like I don't know what they are, but like
yeah, I get it all the time.
it's in my dreams or it's whatever. Like last week, I woke up, I opened my DraftKings app, I was half awake. I accidentally hit the Georgia Tennessee game and clicked Georgia team total under. And I was like, what the hell? And and then I was like, oh, maybe that was a sign. So I bet them and it hit. And there was one other game where the same thing happened and it also hit. So last night, I had a dream that Jalen Hurts was ruled out. Jalen Hurts is on my fantasy team. He was ruled out. This is the things I dream about. And I needed a quarterback. So I went to look at the quarterbacks that are available, and Justin Fields was like a free agent for some reason. Like I went to put in a claim for him.
All right.
So to me, that is a sign from the betting gods or God himself that the Bears are going to cover. So I didn't put them in my 3-star picks because I don't want to use my luck on the stars. I want to use my luck to win some money. I'm going to be all over the Bears today.
All right.
All over.
All right. Yeah, I can see the Bears. I don't mind the Bears today.
It's fate.
Maybe I have to put it in now. All right.
No. Do not stick your nose.
All right. I won't touch it then. I won't touch it. I promise.
Good.
All right. That's going to do it for our little week 10 NFL preview. Enjoy this week's games, and we'll talk to you next week.
Oh, yeah.